Hey, what's up guys? So I wanted to introduce really quickly the new car that we have coming to the channel. This isn't actually my car. The last few ones have been buddies' cars that I've kind of helped them build. The last one, Levi's blue LS turbo car, I originally built that and sold it to him actually. But this, I've never really been able to keep any of the ones that I've built. So I wanted finally, now that time allows, finances kind of allow, I want to build my own, and I wanted to do something different than your normal E36 LS or E30 LS or E46 LS. So I picked a BMW chassis that I've always loved but never really thought it was possible. They're very kind of overweight. Here, I'll just show you and then you can see. Boom, there you go. Like something like 40 something 100 pounds of BMW luxury. Definitely needs some work. This is it. Has kind of this very odd pinstripe. It's definitely been in a, thank you Scott. It's been in a fender bender before. We're almost pretty sure about that because the paint's just like a hair different between the hood and the fender. I don't want to go around here bashing it, but the interior's pretty cool. It's the gray, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it does have some amenities. It's an M Sport. Get these gloves out of here. So it has the M steering wheel, the like ancient nav. It has this StarTAC. Look at this. Woo! You could be making all sorts of calls back in the day. Lots of cool stuff on the inside. I don't know if I'll black swap it eventually or if I'll leave it. Has ashtrays in the back doors. It has the smoker's package, which is pretty interesting. Some little ashtrays back here. Has like a med kit, a bunch of like ambiance lights. These seats actually recline halfway up, so you can get kind of real precise with your seating arrangement. There's that smoker's package kind of fan thing. These also came with some of them, I think just the armored ones came with a gun rack up here that would be super cool to kind of retrofit. I think it was just the armored ones that came with that, but we're missing a piece here. Lots of little stuff as far as aesthetics go. Tiny little dings and dents. Clean up the tail lights, clean up all this stuff. My focus will probably be the drivetrain first. I'm gonna pull it in, get it yanked out, and then thank you for putting your handprints all over the paint with the dust and everything. Ooh. It's all right, we gotta cut and buff this whole thing, so I'm not worried. But yeah, it's been kind of sitting down here for 3 months, I think, while I've been working on my buddy's cars. So now I find it feels weird, but I finally get to play with my own toys for a second. Give it a quick bath here on this like super nice day. This is just kind of a wash to get it in the garage clean, and so we're not just rubbing dirt all over the paint with our, moving around it and stuff like that. So the next step is, if you see this tow hook and this driveway, I'm not sure that the GoPro gives any perspective as to how steep this driveway is, but usually when I have a car breakdown down, and I can make it home, flat tow it, or even if it's just in the block and I park it down here, it cost me $100 to have a tow truck driver come out, load it down here, back it up into the driveway, and then dump it in the bay. And that's just really not cost effective when you own BMWs or cars like this. So I had to come up with my own way to get it in, and that is with this kind of, it's a Harbor Freight winch. I don't really have it set up just yet. Well, I just took it apart to clean the floors, but here's the winch, here's the battery, here's the concrete anchors. The mounting plate itself covers 2 of the anchor holes, so that's why you see 6 holes here when there's only 4. But I'm gonna get this bolted down, and then you guys will come along for the ride of me towing it in. Okay guys, so here you can see what I was talking about with the winch. It's this just like Badland 2500 from Harbor Freight. The plate itself is really weird that it bolts to. It's this black plate. It's square with 4 holes in it. So I drilled the 4 concrete anchors right here, put the plate on, everything fit, and then go to throw the winch on, and the winch blocked these 2 holes down here. So in these, I drilled 2 more holes, and then I just put some like concrete lag bolts down into those. So it kind of sits crooked, but it does the job just fine. We pulled it up the hill, all the way up the hill, so we know that it can at least make it this little short distance. But here's the cable. I'm gonna hook it up to the tow hook, and then I'll check it. All right, the winch is hooked up. Let's set this thing in a while. All right, key is in it, key is forward, and neutral. Slowly fall back on the winch. All right, we're taut. Retract. These Harbor Freight fobs are not the best. I bet if I open my window. Yep. We have movement. And a very dead winch battery. Look at that. Don't. All right. She is completely in the garage. The winch survived. Got a little blanket under there right now because she's still dripping a little bit of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go get changed, shut the garage, and start taking the hood off, the front bumper off, and we'll update you guys for sure on what I find. You know, you kind of learn a car when you take it apart. You definitely do. See if what's been maintained, what hasn't been, and so we'll find all that stuff out together. I really haven't gotten a chance to look at this car at all, so yeah. Also been trying to tidy up, clean up a bit for this next build. For some reason, I can't bring myself to kind of clean mid-project. I know it's a bad habit, but I always like to have the car completely out of the garage before I start cleaning. And so this side looks pretty good. I have to still reorganize this cabinet. This side, on the other hand, needs work. I guess I sort of cleaned this side by bringing everything over to this side. So I'm gonna tackle this now and see if I can get this side cleaned up. Sorry about that. The video cut out. I think the battery died. So you skipped the big mess, and now I'm just gonna clean the countertop, get it all sparkling, and then start tearing this apart. We got this side of the garage cleaned. I got the wires for the TV run and zip tied. I got the Xbox over here, and yeah, I should be ready to shut the garage doors because it is getting freezing in here. and start working. If this content is boring, definitely let me know. I know there's some people out there that think cleaning videos are kind of cathartic and peaceful to watch, you know, especially for me. But if this just sucks and you want to see more car stuff, we're totally down to do that too. So let me know. It's good enough for me. I just use some Scotch-Brite and brake clean, and now unfortunately I'm completely ripped off brake clean, but it worked pretty well. I could have done like steel wool or something to really get it back, but it's gonna get dirty here in a second no matter what with this bad boy. So we are all set. The boxes aren't perfect yet. I'm still swapping tools around in there and trying to figure out where home is for things, but it is ready to start digging into this thing finally. I just wanted to stop here real quick and talk about some of the stuff that when you're first looking at a project that you kind of take note of, or that you want to make sure that you kind of have figured out before you just go yanking the engine out. So things like the power steering system. I can see here it has an external, or obviously it has a reservoir mounted up here. It's kind of nice and out of the way. You know, the headers might have to, you know, the forward facing headers might have to come into contact, but this bracket looks super easy to modify. We could change the spot of it. We wouldn't have to necessarily use everything GM. You know, we can, but the pumps, the GM pumps typically flow a little bit higher pressure and volume than the BMW racks like. So I've heard using the BMW power steering stuff can kind of save you some headaches. It has this external mounted oil filter, which is kind of cool. It has these braided AN looking things, or lines to and from the block. Kind of a cool idea. Might try to save this idea. Definitely not going to save this one or a BMW one at all. Also the fuel system, kind of noting where the fuel lines come in. What is it, a returnless fuel system? Does it have a return on the rail? I sort of yanked all that stuff out, but if I remember correctly, I just like snipped it because I knew what I was doing, but or I had an idea. It looks like it's just this one fuel line here that with this quick disconnect over here in the corner. So that's kind of nice. It runs the opposite side of the car that the E36s and E39s do. It actually runs on the passenger side, which is interesting. Other things like the ABS. So here's where the ABS lives. This one's already been rebuilt by those module master people, which is kind of cool. This again may have to be relocated or moved a little bit. These lines may have to be extended. You know, I'm getting rid of the washer, windshield wiper washer fluid system, because that's just one I don't ever really keep, because you can save so much room by getting rid of it. So the ABS might be able to live here. It's pretty unsightly in my opinion, so if we can move it, we'll see about that. Also, where is this car getting its speedo signal from? Is it getting it from the diff on like an E36? It has a speed sensor on the diff. I'm sure you guys all know, and you don't have to mess with anything. You don't have to mess with any wiring. The speedo just works. If you are working on something like an E39 or an E46, it probably comes from either the standalone harness if you get one, or you can tap in to, I think it's a left rear wheel speed sensor wire in this plug, and that's what gives you the analog speedo signal, because otherwise it's coming from CAN. What other stuff? Brake booster on E36s, again, it's a super tight fit. With this E46 or with this E38, I should say, it lives back here in this little cubby, which is a nice kind of touch. It's all protected from the heat. It might be a little tighter in here, but with judging by how this fits, we shouldn't have too much of an issue. The cooling system, where the radiator inlets and outlets are currently, which way it runs, you know, seeing if the stock radiator is usable or if we're going to need to go aftermarket. You know, this is already a V8 radiator, it's OEM, so you know, if we can find a way to, I've done it before, kind of modify these quick connects to work with a regular hose, then we might try that. It looks similar orientation to, yep, the same orientation as an F-body, so that's a good sign. It's not, you know, one-sided or the other for both inlet and outlet. Also the heater stuff. The heater, all of the hoses going to the heater right here. It has the little control valve right there with the two little piston looking things. That is something we want to save, definitely. So that I will possibly need to relocate and then kind of make new lines, or there might be a chance it'll fit just because this engine bay is so massive. And I would say the last thing is the wiring. You don't want to touch anything that goes to any system that you're not getting rid of. Any of this body harness stuff, any of the grounds like that, anything that kind of runs under here, don't cut. Leave the AC stuff if you want to run AC in the future. Just tape those plugs off if you're not going to run it right away. Don't cut the ABS harness unless you're getting rid of ABS. And I went ahead and just cut the whole engine harness right here because I knew that I wasn't going to be using any of the factory wiring, and I just worked on a CAN LS swap, so I'm pretty familiar with how to get these bad boys running. So I'm going to put all the wiring is going to live in this box. So yeah, that's kind of just what oh, interesting. It looks like the washer fluid thing lives down in the fender, which means that I might be able to keep it. I wonder what was here. Oh, also main power. Where are you getting the main power from? It looks like it's this lug right here that goes down to the harness. I think the E36s have this nice little, you know, kind of terminal setup that runs to the back of the car and then also allows you to kind of add on just little hooped wires or wires with, you know, hoop connectors, and it makes it really simple. So if this is our main power, we just got to figure out, be careful with it. Obviously the battery's unplugged, but make sure we don't cut that. Make sure we have a plan for how to make this work with the new harness. And the shroud too. See if you can use the shroud, anything OEM that you can keep. I choose to, if it's in good shape. This is the progress for tonight. I think I'm gonna call it here. Got the pretty much the whole front end off here. I can show you the pile. Here's pretty much everything that came off. A lot of plastic. A lot of stuff that's going straight to the dump. Hey guys, what's up? It's the next day. I got the engine pulled out a bit, and I just wanted to stop and show you guys freaking some of the carnage. You can actually see like all the way through to the bottom of the block. You can just pull out big chunks of metal like that. Here, I'll grab one. Like that, just and that's nothing. And this rod spins completely 360 on its own. There's another window here. I want to get the pan taken off. My Levi and Bill are coming over later, and I want to. It's kind of fun to actually tear these things down after they've just been destroyed this much and see what you can find. I mean, I know what happened. It skipped timing and killed itself, but it still will be interesting to see all the parts and save some of them for souvenirs or something. At least that chunk of rod is actually absolutely disgusting. And I can see here a lot of, well, actually real quick, let me get just this piece of block, this piece of block, got just a few pieces that shouldn't be there. Oh, is this a ring? That is part of a ring right there. Wow, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, no, definitely, because it has a scraper on it. Yeah, motor mounts probably need to be replaced. Just kidding, that'll all be replaced with LS stuff. But I'm gonna get the engine moved over, get wheels back on this, and roll it back out and just pressure wash the crap out of it. Oh, here, guys, I wanted to show you exactly what you're looking for when you baggy up your electronics. Looking effect here, now that you know they're all soaking in there good. God. Oh, it was an attempt. Got cleaned up pretty well. This side definitely did. This side there were a few scratches on the frame rail, but that's totally fine. This seam sealer came off a little bit there, but
I have plans to probably go through this whole bay and kind of shave what I don't need. Anyway, got a good look at the clean subframe on this giant steering box. You know, finally can mess with it now that it's clean and not gonna get disgusting. But yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end it for this video. This is just kind of an introduction video to the car. I just picked up, actually spent this weekend running around grabbing stuff for it. That I'll show in a video coming up here soon, but definitely making progress. The engine should be, got to pull the internals and re-ring the block, and that'll be probably the next video, probably here this week. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, here's a quick update on that piece I was making for Levi. I got it's not like the finish isn't fully there yet, but it's it's getting there. I've wet sanded it a few times now, buffed it a little bit, and then realized I should probably go back and wet sand a little bit. But it came out really good, way better than my first one. And I was actually able to delete the hazard button for him too, since his shifter sits so far back with the swap. He can't really run his hazard button because the hazard button like extends down below this quite a bit. So yeah, I think I'm gonna film another video kind of surprising him with it, and I'm also cleaning up the old one that I did, and it's coming out pretty good. And I'm gonna give that one to Bill because Bill just bought an E36. So yeah, I'll be gifting my friends with some Cabron pieces.